Welcome to The Right Focus, a podcast for writers, newbies, and veterans, and everyone in between. We're hosted by M.A. Lee with the assistance of Remy Black and Edie Rooms, all from Writers Inc. Books. Our focus is productivity, process, craft, and tools. Each episode lasts as long as it takes to fix a quick dinner, drive a short commute, or take a brisk walk. Resources and links are in the show notes. Visit us at therightfocus.blogspot.com. Now, on to this week's episode. What more do we need to do for God? I think most of us live a minimalist lifestyle with God. He's in a neat little corner, tucked away, with a hint of brightness brought out only when we need him. There he is, over there. See him? He's for Sunday. No. He's for every day. We can never predict when we will need him. The truth is, we need Christ every day. Handy Wikipedia tells me that most churches which celebrate Easter... I'm stopping right here. Most churches. Most? Why not all of them? Why are some churches neglecting this most important series of days in the life of the church and the life of Christ in their lives? Most churches that celebrate the Holy Week before Easter present Christ's predictions about his death and resurrection. Is it not important that Christ knows that his sacrifice is quickly approaching? It should be. His sacrifice elevates us to heaven. Lent, the 40 days leading up to Easter, is a time of prayer and fasting as we focus upon Christ's life, his words, his teachings, his miracles, his choices. Never forget that everything Christ did for us is his choice, his gift to us. He chose to come to earth. He chose to live a life that we can try to follow. He chose to sacrifice himself for us. He chose to welcome us to his kingdom of heaven. In our Lenten prayers and fastings, we are supposed to sacrifice food, items, time, thoughts, deeds. All of these should lead us to God. We give up chocolate and think that it's the same as the stripes on his back. We give up time by attending a couple of services and think it's the same as his crown of thorns. Or we restrict our thoughts during Lent. I won't gossip or gripe. Or we donate an item of clothing for every day of Lent. Good for us. Yet what we do is nothing when compared to what Christ did for us. We cannot predict what tomorrow holds. We cannot even predict what the next minute holds. We can trust. We live on that trust. Christ knew what would happen to him. He knew his betrayer. He knew his denier. He knew each soul that spoke against him, each mind that turned him over to Pontius Pilate. He stood before the crowd that shouted for Barabbas, and he knew how each one had previously viewed him when he rode into Jerusalem on Palm Sunday. He knew, and he remained holy, for he is the embodiment of holy. Our poor efforts do not measure up when matched to him. What more can we do to be more holy? We can love, for loving causes more love. An unending cup, much like the widow's pot of oil that filled and filled containers until no more jars were available to fill, leaving the widow and her sons with money to pay off their debt and support them into the future, which is from 2 Kings 4, about the prophet Elisha. God never allows his provision to run into waste. When we open our lives to God, he provides more and more, an unending cup. When we sacrifice to him, he still provides more and more. Sacrificing to God is not an emptying of ourselves, but a filling where we are empty. He gives us more and more. The best thing that he gives is love. Creativity refresh number 3. When we struggle with our writing, The least little noise can interrupt our attempts to achieve flow. That blessed state when the sentences come in an uninterrupted stream, words pouring onto the page as fast and faster than we can write them down. A truck rumbles past. The neighbor cranks his lawnmower, then blasts the leaf blower. A distant siren wails past. The furnace rattles as it clicks on. The dog down the street barks at nothing and no one, maybe a squirrel. Notifications ding in on the smartphone. We think we're smart. We place the phone 2 rooms away, then multiple emails chime in. We turn off notifications and think that fixes it, only for unknown dings to call us. So we resort to white noise, our background podcast, or our playlist, only to discover those do not help us concentrate. 1. White noise will never work. Static is not a natural sound, and our minds thrive on natural sounds. Wind chimes of manufactured metal sound shrill, a high-pitched chiming that doesn't quite feed into the harmonics our minds seek. We try ambient sound, our Gregorian chant, or digitized ocean waves, yet even those aren't quite right. 2. Podcast. Podcasts do not work because our brains want to listen for information or entertainment. Even when we think we aren't listening, our subconscious brain is tuning in to human speech. Our subconscious should be concentrating on our words and sentences. We cannot reach flow when we listen to speaking. Human speech is also the reason I will not create in a coffee shop or a crowded park. I have and can edit documents there. Human speech that disrupts the subconscious is actually best for proofreading. Yet it will not support the creative stages, the rough sketch, or the draft, or revision. 3rd, songs are the same problem as podcasts. We listen to the words, and soon we are singing along. Instrumental music does work, as long as we do not know any words that accompany the song. If we have an instrumental version of songs we can sing to, then our minds will sing along. Pure instrumentals with never words attached, those are helpful for achieving flow. Classical music built on harmonics or thirds and fifths, that does help the developing brains of babies in the womb and out of it. The creative brain is sparked even as the logical brain is engaged. Vivaldi, Bach, Chopin, Rachmaninoff, Beethoven, all are good choices for instrumental music. I do not suggest Mozart's. The speed of most of Mozart's compositions do not support the rhythm of my mind. The atmospheric tone of certain classical music can match the tone of our writing, helping us find the words and details that build the mood of a particular scene. The best sound that I've found is God-given birdsong. Not the squawks of crows or gulls, but the songster sparrows and wrens. The trilling birds in great variety. A mix of woodland or meadow or farmland birds. Listening to birdsong, sounds from our collective unconscious, as Carl Jung would term it, engages our subconscious. The songs are constant and varied, just like the songs we will hear while walking in a neighborhood or park, natural and easy, flowing and strong. The birdsong drowns all but the more persistent noises. I do not hear the dog barking, the truck rumbling past, the distant siren, the furnace coming on, or the smartphone notifications and emails. I do still hear the mower and leaf blower, the airplane droning and helicopter beating the air. Yet somehow, strangely, those are not so obnoxious, so irritating and interruptive. Use birdsong as music. The birds know the words, but we do not. And our words will flow unimpeded onto the page where they belong. Thanks for listening to The Right Focus, a podcast for writers at all levels, hosted by Emma Lee from Writers Inc. Books, assisted by Renee Black and Edie Runes. Our focus is productivity, process, craft, and tools. Music is licensed through Audio Jungle, called Background Music Loop. Its creator is Alexander Polishchuk, known on Audio Jungle as Plastic 3. The music comes in different iterations. Show notes and resource links for this and other episodes can be found at therightfocus.blogspot.com. Write to us at winkbooks@aol.com when you have questions, comments, and speculations. We will try to answer you as quickly as possible. By the way, we will not mind your email address. That's rude. If you find value in our content, share with your writing friends or write a review. We're small beans here without the advertising budget of the big peeps, and you can make a difference. And whatever occurs, right on.